Alrighty, another stream, another day, another good day to learn. Awesome. Welcome everyone. Let's just wait a few minutes for people to get here and we can get started. Awesome. People are getting here already. Awesomeness. I don't want to see that. Hey, Cameron. What's up, Cameron? And Bob. What's up, Bob? Bob, my man. How are you guys doing? Hey, Mess. What's up? How are you guys doing? I'm still setting up my screen because I always change this stuff. Let me switch to this so I can set up the chat. There you go. Hey Cameron, you're a Houdini knob. That's great, man. That's great. You're in a great position to learn. There's nothing wrong with being new. I remember when I was new, so exciting to just learn stuff. Hey Karen, from Yerevan, Armenia. Wow. What time is it over there? It's gonna be late, I guess. Or Armenia might be already be Tuesday over there, morning maybe. Not sure. Tell us, Karen, what's the time over there? How's the weather? How are you doing? Let's close this stuff. 2 a.m. Awesome. That's awesome, man. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I just have so much stuff going on my screen. You guys can see I always have so much stuff going on. So much. It's the Disney stuff. Oh, let me show you this. It's the same thing. Close that. Quit. Yeah. Whew. So much windows. Close. There we go. Finally. Hey Vader, what's up, man? The weather's very hot. Well, it's kind of the same over here, man. Although today it's a little bit it's not that warm today because we had a little bit of cloud, so it's a little bit lower, but yeah, it gets really hot as well here. I already say hi to Bader. Sorry, Bader. Hi. Yes, VOPS is related to Bex, of course. You can think of VOPS as a visual way to do Bex. It's actually that's it. It's a visual way. So we will talk about that today. So right, I guess people is already here. Cool. So let's start moving on. Don't waste any time. Let's finish setting up my Houdini window here. There we go. All right, so 12 a.m. Awesome. Love you guys staying late for to hang out here. That's great. So let's start talking about stuff. So if you guys didn't know, we just released a new shading with Redshift course. You can go to our website mixtrn.com and find out more information. You can see the page. If you see under this video, it's a link to this page as well. There's the first chapter. You can always see it here by clicking this icon there. You will see the first chapter here, and then you can I took the time to really detail everything. You can see it's 6 hours long. It's really cool. There's a lot of stuff here in this course. It's 4K 60 FPS quality, so any device you see this on, it's gonna be awesome. So yeah, you can see there's all the topics you will learn here, detail, and then press the wrong button there. And then there's the requirements you need. Then each chapter, there's a little description of each chapter here, so you know exactly what you're gonna be learning in this training. It's really cool. And by the end of the course, well, you're gonna create this awesome image here. So I cover a lot of stuff in this course, so you guys should totally check it out. The other thing is, let's go to the Pixar side. Pixar Renderman. So I got this email just like a few minutes ago, and Renderman 22 is released. So one really excited. I've been on the beta for this. I didn't have too much time to test it, but one really exciting thing that I saw here in the new things. Let's find it. Let's see. So says here that now this has this true interactive rendering, and I saw somewhere, I can't find it, but that it's coming for all platforms, but it doesn't mention anything about Houdini. Hey Jellyfish, yeah, I remember you, man. What's up, Jellyfish? So hopefully now we have the interactive renderer for Houdini. I'm gonna download this as soon as I finish this stream and take a look at this, because that's pretty exciting news. If they fix the, where's that page? Let's see if I have it. Let me see, because I got an email from Renderman. So this one, no. Where is that stuff? Here. You can see here it says each bridge product has been rewritten to provide optimal user experience for always on live rendering. So what I want to know is, does that work with Houdini now? Please tell me it does, because I want to use more Renderman, but I just totally miss that feature. I want that feature to be enabled in Renderman, because it just makes so much simple, just shading, just makes it so amazing. So yeah, Renderman 22 is released. If you guys want to go check it out, it doesn't mention anything about. Let's see, there's a bunch of new things, but let's see. Is there any mentioning about GPU yet? No, seems like nothing. Release notes. Let's see, Renderman 22. GPU doesn't mention anything about GPU yet. I think that's gonna be on the Renderman next release. I don't mean the next one. They are calling it next, I think. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find out, if there's any information about XPU, but no, not yet. Seems like it's not yet there. So, but yeah, it's really cool. I want to try it. I want to see if the Houdini integration is there already, but not sure. Okay, so that's it about that. Okay, so what else was I wanting to talk about? All right, so you guys been asking me. A few of you have been asking me about what about Jumanji, and if I was going to talk about that. So yeah, let's talk about that. Jumanji. Want to talk about that? If you guys don't know, how much is Redshift? The price of it? It's $500. 500 for floating. Oh no, is it the? You can see it. Redshift is 500. The last time I saw was 500, so buy it now. Here is, yeah, note lock is $500 and floating is 600. If you're just using it on your, if you're not a studio, you don't need the floating license. If you are a studio, you need a floating license most of the time. So let me find the trailer. It's this one, I think. Obviously, I can't show you real scenes. This is. So let's see. This is the trailer. I think this trailer has one of my shots. If you guys haven't seen the movie, I really recommend you see it. It's good. It's a nice movie. Let's see. I'm trying to find this scene that I worked on. I think there's a few on the trailer. It might not be this one. Oh yeah, that's one. Okay, so that scene, I did all these smoke and explosions, minus one explosion that it's there. That's one of the scenes that I did. So if you've seen the movie, that's just before they got into the game, and it's the first chase sequence, I think. Do you need to buy another license for multi-computer rendering? Yes. Each computer needs a different license. Yes. That's with every renderer. That's the same thing. So this is one of the scenes that's on the trailer. I did all these explosions. There is one of these two explosions it's real, and the other one I did. Really, I don't remember which one is the real one. I feel kind of proud about that because I don't know. I don't really remember which one's the real one. So okay, but all this smoke on the ground. I think there was a few smoke, but I added smoke on the back and in front of her. These bullet hits there, I added all that stuff, and all that sequence. There's like 5 or 6 shots that I did for that sequence. There's most. I think did all the scenes had explosions. I think all the scenes had explosions before, and then I added other explosions. So we're gonna talk about what was hard about that, because it was really hard. I also did an element for this explosion right here. This, I'm not sure if they end up using that element, that explosion when he explodes here. I did some elements for that, but I'm not sure if they used it. This is just comped over stuff. I'm not sure. Maybe they didn't. Doesn't seem like they used what I did, so it's okay. They were trying different ways to do this explosion because they weren't sure how it was supposed to look. So we did a few takes on that, and then I was really pushed on time, and I had to go on vacation, so I couldn't keep working on that shot. So that's all the shot that I did, but I don't think they used the stuff I did. I don't think so. But we can see what I actually did in my reel. So I got the scenes here. In this guy, let's if you guys want to see it, this is on my website on Vimeo. There you can see this. It's one of the explosions I did. I think I did 2 on this scene. And this is the shot I was showing you guys from the trailer. There's all these bullet shots here on the ground. I did all those stuff, and I'm not sure if that explosion I did. That one's a real one, I think. And then there was another one. So I did with this one on the side here. I did these bullet hits here. Okay, this is another project now. So yeah, there's a few explosions that I did. So the explosions were very, 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 very specific. So hey, Mary boy, what's up? So thank you, Bob. Thank you. So if you guys haven't seen the movie, I really recommend you see it. It's fine. So as I said, there was real explosions in these shots. So it was really hard to. So I'm pretty sure this one it's a real one. This one, right here, behind Jack. His name is Jack Black, right? No, yeah, Jack Black. Sorry, forgot his name for a second. So this is a real explosion there. So you can see there. This explosions had. Well, I'm gonna talk about how we match the explosion because that was basically my job. So you can see this explosion had a lot of spikes here. It was really spiky, and when you think about doing something like this that it has these spikes, you always think about just maybe exploding some objects or shooting some objects, and then you will get the smoke from that. But it wasn't as simple as we thought, because we all were really not sure how we're going to do this thing. So let me tell you guys how all this started. So I have a friend in at a studio. He had a studio. He left the studio and he went to work with this other big studio. And I've done work for him. They are my friends, so I've done effects for them before. So when they got this with this job to do the explosions, they called me to do the explosions, but they called me like, "Hey Felipe, what's up?" They called me like the day before, and they were saying like, "Can you get here tomorrow and come to do this job?" I didn't even knew what I was gonna do. Actually, they didn't tell me. So we talk about it, and I say, "Well, okay, I can do it." So actually, I traveled the next day to the studio to do this thing, and I spent a week there. When I got there, they told me you're gonna be working in Jumanji. This is the project. So uh, that's how that happened, and I worked on that. The idea first was that I would just do like an asset, and then that asset will be just used in the rest of the scenes. But that didn't work at all because each explosion was really different. And as I said, there were in the shot there were already real explosions. So they wanted to enhance the explosions. They wanted more explosions. So we needed to match the explosion like perfectly, and I think I did a pretty good job, or the whole team did a pretty good job, or matching those explosions, which is pretty good. Um, so that was the starting idea. We would just be doing one asset and then replicate it again. Didn't work. I had to do each shot a personalized explosion for each one, basically from scratch, kinda. And the bullet hits for the ground. I did do an asset for that, but I was modifying it along the way, which is something I want to do a curse on because it was really interesting how I was modifying the asset for that. But yeah, you can see the one of these explosions here is not real, or one of them is real, and they both look pretty good. They both look pretty good. I think this is the real one. I don't know. So at this bullet hits here, this explosions on the ground. I did that as well. The debris and all those rocks and everything there. Hey Santi, what's up? What's up, Sandy? I'm doing good. So we started doing the explosions. Am I credited? Yes, I'm on the credits for sure. I am. Hell yeah, I am. I shared a picture on Facebook about the credits. I guess somewhere. You guys can see it on my Facebook. Let's see if I can find it really quickly. Blah, 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 blah. But yeah, I am credited on the. I am on the credits. I can't find it. Can't find it. So yeah, here it is. I found it. Here's the image. There's my name, Alvaro Castaneda. That's my name. So that's the credit on the movie. So I am on the credits. So the other thing is that Mary Boy says that how much time did I spend on this? I spent a few months, like 2 or 3 months, I think. Again, this was supposed to be like a week job. Of course, that didn't happen, and the work was too much to get done in a week. So it took a few months to finish. And what I want to talk about is that the fact that we had this really specific shape for the explosions. You can see these explosions have like these spikes, and again, first when you see that first, you're like, yeah, I know how to do that. I totally know. I just gonna this one. You can see it. It's kind of spiky. It's a combination of smoke and dirt because these explosions are like buried on the ground, and then when they explode, they blow up a lot of dirt as well. So So you can see this kind of explosion, is shape of this explosion. It's really difficult to get, and again, I was just trying to get the shape, the color, the mixture of dirt and smoke. All those different aspects were really difficult to get for the explosions, and I'm gonna show you a little bit of what I did on the to get the thing working, the explosion. Because as I said, you expect that you will be doing something like maybe just explode some rocks or something, and that's what I did to start off. I guess explosion. So what I did first, this is not what I end up doing in the movie. So let's see, I did a sphere. So this is a new feature in tab 2 that is not out yet. It will be out, I think, today. I fixed some issues. You can see I have this new panel here. Just tells you help about each node. I'm really proud of this thing. And it also, if you go to Bex mode, tells you the details about every function. At point, you can see it tells you the how to use the expression here. It's really good, cool. I'm really excited about this. Just tells you the help. Sorry. And also, if you're just creating nodes, it just gives you help about that node, which is pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm really excited about this thing. So this is what I started doing, right? I'm gonna release that update of tab 2, I think today. So it's gonna help a lot of people just getting to know the nodes faster. So like if you say like, what does the facet do? Oh, that's what it does. What does the polygon bevel do, and polybridge, etc. Some nodes don't have help because the developer did not help, but most of the Houdini nodes should have it help integrated. Okay, so this is the what you might think you will do that kind of explosions. Thank you, Betty Boy. Thank you for that. So this is what I did first. Let's put like 10. Now here, 10 particles. I'm gonna spawn 10 particles. Let's make the sphere a little bit smaller, and I'm gonna give them speed up. Or what I actually did is just create normals here for the sphere to shoot the particles up, and I do this a lot with the randomize attribute randomize. Oh, let's see the help for that. Generates random attributes values for various distributions. This thing is gonna be super useful for a lot of people. So what I do is just create normals for this. I do normals, and then I just put them in Gaussian, and I push this guy up to make them point up like that. And then I put that, I pass that into velocity with a wrangle attribute wrangle. I just the attribute velocity, I just make it equal to the normal. That's what I do. Just check that the attribute it's a vector. Yeah, all right. So now that velocity is just passed the particles already. You can see they are already moving like that. But I don't want all those particles. I would just want, let's say, the amount of spikes the explosion is gonna have, right? So let's say I'm just gonna say 10, and I'm just gonna emit those in the first frame. So I just use the if the floating frame is less than 1, that's actually less than 2. That means I'm just gonna emit particles in the first frame. So that's just the way to do it. You could just keyframe that if you want. So that's what's happening. I don't want any jitter here. So that's what's happening here. Hopefully you guys can see the particles. Let me make them bigger. There we go. What is there a redshift? What is this? Let me see, what is this? Redshift viewport info. I don't know what that is. Alright, so you got these particles there, and they just shoot up in one frame. You can see this is, again, this is not how I did it, but this is how you might think logically that this is how you will do that, actually, that explosion. So this is what happens. The particles go up and then go down. Let's enable real time. Now I'm gonna need, and let me give them more speed, a little bit more speed. Attributes to multiply the speed there. All right, that's good. So now you can see we have these guys, and we have, let's say, the initial part of the explosion. This is one way you could do the explosion, but it was not the way we did it, because let's keep doing this, and I want to show you what's gonna happen. So let's say that this is the initial burst. So we could actually just emit smoke from these particles right away if we want to. Just get the pyro shelf here. I'd like to use the pyro shelf. I don't care what everyone else says. I use the shelf, whatever. If you want to think I don't know Houdini, whatever. I use it. I get the results I want. So let's say that I get the particles and I emit billowy smoke from that. Now you can see what we have is this thing that doesn't work, right? It's just not working. It's just like, what? The particles are way too fast for this thing here. And oh, I created the thing over here. I don't want to do that. Let me undo. Undo. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna create a new .NET here. .NET. Let's call this smoke. Just get in here and get out to make it the active one, or just change it here at the bottom here, because the shelf uses the one active to create the nodes, and I don't want, by default, it just the one that it found. This one, it put the smoke there. I don't want it there. So let's just again do the smoke here, and now it's gonna use this one as the simulation. Hey, didn't do that. Again, I think I didn't have that active because I was messing around. So just get in and get out. That is the current one. Let's do this. Billowy smoke. And what happened? Billowy smoke. There we go. Okay, now it's working. So now you can emit the smoke from the particles, but you can see this is just not fast enough, or the particles are way too fast for this resize thing. I didn't end up using the resize in the shots for the movie because I just created the area that I wanted to have my smoke in, and I did that. It wasn't really useful for the thing that I did, but you can use it if you want. So this is again, you can see this is not working. I talked about this. I talk about a lot of the I talk a lot about emitting fire from particles in my magical fire effects thingy, but I'm just gonna show you guys a little bit here. So we are seeing the velocity here. Let me hide the velocity. I'm not gonna see that, but you can see there's nothing basically, because the points are not getting the are not getting sampled correctly here. You can see there's just nothing. There's no density there. So we need to change a few things here to get the particles to get some density. Let's see, sample distance. There we go. Now we're getting some density from the particles. Since the particles are really small, it's hard to get them to emit just by doing that, but now they are emitting a little bit. But you can see this is totally horrible. so as you can see, it's not doing effects, it's not simple. All right, so now we have some smoke, and this thing, it's really small. Let's use the resize for now. Let's see if it catches up. Nope, it's really, let's see, max bound, don't clamp it. So there we go. It's totally not working again, because the particles are way too fast for this container. I need more padding to this, which is totally too much padding now. So yeah, I'm not gonna use it. It's balancing act here. So there we have the particles are emitting now. Let me just scale this guy more. So basically the particles are emitting, but they are too fast right now. You can see we're seeing the each step here, and this is why you need sub steps, specifically if you're doing stuff that it's really fast. Let me put less divisions here, make this a little bit faster. Okay, that's way too much. But again, we can see the sub steps here, which is, we don't want to see that. And to make this better, smoother, you need your sub steps. Let's try 3 to start off, and now you can see that is a little bit smoother, right? We're starting to get those spikes that we're looking for, and we can actually, let's just emit more here, more volume, just to actually see what's happening. So we're emitting that, and that is kinda the look that the explosion had in the footage. You can see that starting to look kind of like that. But you can see this in one way, you can see that starts to look like the explosion in the shot, but in another way you can totally see that it's just totally wrong. It's kind of hard to explain. Let me lower, let me get this density more dense so you can see it. So you can see in one way these things are going in the right direction, and they're kind of doing what you're expecting, and in another way it's just totally not doing what you're expecting. And what I mean by that is, let me make this bigger. is that yes, we're getting those spikes that we want. Now it's just getting slower because the container is way bigger. So we're getting those spikes, but there's a lot of features from the explosion missing. Like you can see when the explosion goes off here, you can see it goes off with those spikes. Starts really spiky. Can we go frame by frame on this thingy? We can't. So let's try to catch the explosion. So there you go. When the explosion goes boom at this start, here you can see it got those kind of spikes, and then they get more spiky. But then after that, it gets like this, like a mushroom shape. There's this support here, let's call it, and then there is this billowy kind of a top. So you can see now this is kind of evolving here on the top. It kind of went really fast and then it stopped and it's evolving there, and then we keep having some smoke from the ground. So a lot of stuff is happening here. So as you can see, our explosion like this, it in a way looks like that, but like I'd say maybe the first frame looked like that, but then after a few frames more, it just looks like crap. Like this looks nothing like that explosion. It's just smoke going in lines in a way. So this was the totally wrong approach for this. Also, it was the wrong approach because let's say this is the shot, and let's say this was kind of the shot like this. And I show this to the supervisor, and he says, you know what, I like those fingers. We call them spikes, fingers, whatever. But I don't like this one. Can you just remove that one there? And everything else is good. Just remove that one. Let's say that this was a good explosion, but it's not. It looks like crap. If you want to remove that explosion, you're gonna say like, okay, I'm gonna remove that one. You will think that it was gonna be like really simple, right? Like, oh, okay, I want to remove that, that one, this one right there. So how do I do that? Okay, maybe I go here and I say is maybe this point here, and I delete that one. Okay, I deleted that point. Let's see, let's go over here and let's try to simulate this. So whenever you do this, the whole simulation is gonna change. Like, it seems like it doesn't make a lot of drastic change, but it does, especially with all the other stuff we had around. But now you can see this is kind of gone, but it wasn't working like that simple to delete one of the things, or maybe the supervisor was like, all right, can you just, let's say that specifically this one here, you see this stream here, can you make this one, just this one, can you make that one be lower or higher? So we didn't have any control about that. It was like that's the moment I say that when you really become an effects artist is when you get that kind of input and you execute on that, and you're like, yeah, I can do that, whatever. So how the hell do I do this point only? I just made it lower, higher, etc. You could write an expression, or you can add just a more drag to this one, but it gets there's a lot of ways you could do it, of course. So what I end up doing, it's actually also since these explosions are actually feature film, they have to be so detailed, and every change, every like, let's me try this thing to make it go up, will take hours to simulate and stuff, and then show the supervisor again, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, let's say, oh, they already released a production build with Renderman 22 support. All right, pretty damn cool. We should try that out actually. Let me download that. I'll download that in the background and we can try it out here. Freaking awesome. Oh, they actually announced that in the front page now. Whoa, funky. All right. Let's see what's new there. Let me see. Subs. Let's see if I see anything about Renderman. Updates to Renderman properties. Yeah, but I don't think that's Renderman 22. I already saw that message actually. I don't think that's Renderman 22, man. Nope, I don't think so. But let's download it. Maybe. We just download that really quickly. All right. So, okay, let's see. Yeah, I don't think it's Renderman 22, but let's try it. Have you seen the rush scene before they do the effects? I don't know what you mean, Mary Boy. The rush scene? I think there was another question here. This thing is really small. Let me make this bigger. There we go. Could you have used takes for the different explosions? I don't use takes. I don't like takes. You can see the scenes before the effects. Yes, you can see them, of course. Hey Riz, what's up, man? I think there was another. Can you use subsolver in DOP to control the particles? Yeah, you can use it, but it's not always that simple to just control one particle. So, and again, anytime you make any change to the simulation, you have to wait, simulate again the whole thing, and then see if it worked. If it didn't, then you tweak it again, and then you repeat the process, right? So we were in a super hurry. This was like, there was no time to lose for this thing. It was like, can we have it to yesterday? So what I came up with, it's a system or a method. Let me that we could actually see kind of the how the explosion's gonna look before we even simulate the explosion. And I've never seen anyone do it like this. So I will actually do training on this because this is really unique stuff. So let's hide all this stuff. So what I did is something like this. Explosion to, of Of course this is just part of the whole thing, but this is what I did. Let's create a circle. I don't remember if I did it with a circle. I think I did it with a circle. And let's make this a polygon thingy. Let's say I created a curve or a line, I don't remember. And now let's just make this line length, let's say 5, and add a bunch of points to that. And this, I'm gonna do this just really simple. Let me just do this, kind of like that, and rotate this maybe a little bit. Or something like that. I just gonna do it really quickly. Whoa. And then I just copy this line, copy the points, and this line should be like this. Okay. And this guy, let's give it normals, facet, post compute. Now how can I do this without any code? Whatever, I'm gonna use back, so the normals are gonna be equals to the position there. So that's how you do normals to the outside of this thingy. Alright, so I did this, now I don't need this. I did something like this, so now I need that back, and this should be rotated like that, 90. So this is basically, this is really rough. Let's create a randomize the P scale. One value, don't make it so small. So I did something kind of like this, and this was kind of like the explosion, like the core of the explosion, something like this. So I designed the explosion with curves basically before we even simulated the explosion. So now at this stage, if the supervisor said, oh, you know what, that's too much fingers, or this is the camera right here, this is the camera, can you just make them all just go out of camera? And I was like, oh, sure, can just modify this parameter here, and I just all right, kind of like that. Yeah, can you just make one of them like longer? Well, yeah, this is just curves, so I can just do that because they are curves, and I could just like kind of like that. You want it like that? Can you just make it lower? Yeah. Can you do it something like that? Yeah. So we kind of, in a way, we kind of sculpted the explosion before we even simulated the damn thing. So that was pretty damn cool because it wasn't something that I ever seen anyone use before. So now you can see that edit, it's just messing around with this. And so yeah, that's what we did, and then we just use these curves later to emit the smoke and have the velocities come from these curves and push the smoke up. And again, there was a lot of different things around this thing, like these curves will push the smoke. Let's see if we can do something with this. Let's say here, let me just do the polyframe. Polyframe is the way you always want to do normals here. I don't want that. I want the normals along the curve with just the first one edge, and that it's pointing in the wrong direction there. So you can see we make the normals bigger. They're pointing along the curve, but I want them to go in the other direction. So just to not get into any code, I just use a facet and reverse the normals like that. That's what I do. And 2 edges is alright. So now those things are gonna lose the normals because we are losing the normals. Is the normals over here? Yeah, because we are randomizing the normals here. No, we're not. Oh yeah, we're using the normals to copy that thing. Okay, so it just copy the normals. We're not copying the normals. Weird. Weird. Okay, there we go. So we have the normals going like that, and then we can just again say put that into the velocity. Let's say this is gonna be the velocity. The normals are the velocity. Then you can create a volume from the volume from attribute. Volume from attribute here. You need a volume. And we create an attribute from the velocity, and it's not working. There is curves, volume velocity from curves. Let's try this one. I never get this to work. This is the surface, the volumes, and the curves. Let's see if it works now. Never get this one to work. It would be really nice if we could make that work. I'm not calling this anything. Density. Nah. I need to investigate that freaking node because that would be really awesome too. Let's call this velocity. And now let's give it more divisions. We have the velocity there. It's not generating my thingy. Why? Let's see what's happening here. 1.1 volume velocity. Weird. We do have the velocity as a vector. Yeah. Why are you not copying? I don't remember what's happening. Well, the thing is that we did something like I did something like that. Poly wire. Let's see if I give them some thickness. This thing works. Doesn't want to work. Why are you just messing with me, dude? I am not sure. Use attribute velocity. Yes. I'm not sure why this thing is not working. Oh, yeah, because this volume's too small. That volume's too small, dude. Let's plug that. You can see now there's the velocities there. We can visualize it if we scatter some points into that guy, this guy. Why is it just doing one side? I don't know. Why am I just generating points on one side? I mean density on one side. That's weird. That is weird, dude. Why is everything failing today? Oh, I'm putting a scalar here. Oh man, I needed to change this to a vector because I want the velocity to be a vector. I was just doing a scalar, duh. So that's just one position. So we have points there, and when we can just do the trail, volume trail from the volume, and this. Now you can see we have velocities from the curves. Of course, I use some stuff to control the amount of velocity, the thickness of all this stuff, and a bunch of other crap. So let's call this velocity, and then let's save this in to our project. Cheating, no. Where is that? Where is that thing? It's not here. Set project. Learning webinars here. There we go. Save it. This is what? LearnDay 64? Explosion. So we had that thing, and then you can just pass that velocity to simulation. Let's just create a sphere. Explosion source. So this is my source. I want it to be a little bit smaller. I want it to be polygons. Now I want to create another topnet here. Let's call this explosion dop. Get in and get out. To activate it, let's do an explosion from this guy, billowy smoke. So now we have some smoke. Let's do that. And now we go and apply the velocity source volume. This is gonna be the velocity. So we point it to that guy that we created, this velocity. We don't want to do any sourcing, no, or temperature, no. And let's add the velocity. So we're just adding the velocity to this guy just to make sure we just make this 0 and not temperature, just velocity. So now this should start moving with the velocity we created. We could actually, let's say, cancel the buoyancy here. So there's no buoyancy now. This should be moving with the velocity we created. We can see the velocities here. And we can even make this higher, multiply the velocities, and you can see the velocities are there. So it's adding those velocities we created. Let's do not clamp this, and let's hide the visualization now. So now you can see that it's kind of doing that thing that we designed. You can see the velocities here at the first frame. Actually, you can see the velocities are there. That's the velocities we created from the curves. So it's not totally following it, but it's pushing it in the right directions, and then we get all this really interesting other stuff. So we did a lot of tricks to get it to follow more the curves and emit from those curves as well, and all that stuff. So I did a bunch of stuff to make this stuff work really. But this is kind of the overall idea. But you can see now they are actually kind of following what the curves are doing. You can kind of see it going along the curves there. So this is kind of the way we did it. You can already see that even this simulation is not that there's not a lot of detail in this. You can see this is already a lot more interesting than the one we did before. The other one was really stupid and not interesting at all. And this is really interesting already. We can just say create a distant light for adding some shadows there. But again, you can see there there is more. Let's just also I animated all sorts of freaking stuff. Let's animate this source. Let's go to 20. Put another key here and make it go to 0.1 maybe to not stop doing that. Give me like that. So I'm emitting the first second and then it just doesn't emit anymore. And it's not totally following the curves right now, but like I said, we did a bunch of other tricks to make it follow the curves more. You can see it's kind of following in this direction. We can actually just override, just copy to make it just follow the curves only. You can see now that is just following the curves completely. Like you can do whatever kind of shape of simulation you want with this thing. So you can see now it's just following the curves completely, but it looks pretty fake, right? It doesn't look like it should look. And again, if we add a little bit of the buoyancy back, not too much, but a little bit, we'll get more stuff going up, and it starts to get more interesting. You can get more noise into this. Again, we control the amount of noise in different stages at different points of this thing. It was pretty insane, the amount of detail we control. So yeah, I don't recommend you do it like this, but it could work. Again, depends on your project, how you're working, how it works, etc. If it works for you, use it, man. Use it. So you can see now these guys are following more the curves like that. So again, if we go back to this part and we see, let's see this like that, you can see this thing, it's exactly what we designed already. So are we having two things here? Source there. Here is the pyro. Out. You can see this is exactly the explosion we designed. So you can actually just basically design your explosion like this. And you can, of course, this is just the base. It shouldn't look like that. It starts to look really stupid, and then you have to control also what happens when they go out of the curve. But that looks pretty cool as well when they start to just stop there. But with this method, they don't have any more velocity because we're just copying the velocity completely. But yeah, that's one way to do it. And I'm gonna stop right now about that because we haven't even talked about VOPS. I don't think I'm gonna have any time for this. But yeah, this is one way that I solve that stuff about explosions having a really specific shape, specific path, specific directability, So it really made it possible in the amount of time that we had to make the explosions, because we had really short time to do this stuff. And any questions, guys? Any questions? Now I'm gonna install the licensing. Any questions? Questions? Any questions? I'm gonna start a new file. Nobody has questions? Are you gonna be checking out the new Houdini to Niagara plugin with Unreal 420? Sure. Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. I think 420 is out as well, right? I think I saw something about it, but I'm not sure if it's out. But I think it's out. Not sure. Checking the website right now. Community. Where's the news? I think it's out. I think I saw something that it was out. Came out today? Yeah. I think yeah, there it is. 420 release. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll check the Niagara integration there. We'll check it out for sure, man. Check it out for sure. People make fun of us because we talk like that here in this area of Mexico. We just say shh a lot. Alright, are there any questions? Because I'm gonna go to VOPS, because that was a really long topic. I talk like a lot. Close, dude. Okay. So this is the latest production build of Houdini. 536. This is the new one. Let's see if it has anything about Renderman 22. There is no here. There's no Renderman 22 stuff there, but I don't know. Renderman. I don't think so, but they always left Houdini for at the end, which is something that I don't like. 21. Yeah, I don't think it's 22. It's not yet ready. Very good tips. Where do you find it? At school or a studio? Are you saying where I got those tips from? I came up with that stuff. I didn't find it somewhere else. I did it. I invented it. That's me doing it. It's not something that I learned somewhere else. I just said, how can I do this faster? How can I have these explosions be faster and make it in time? And I made up this process. It's not something that I saw somebody do. I made it up. William, I'm in north of Mexico, in Chihuahua. Can you talk about the next Houdini 17? Is there a Houdini 17? I guess that's my answer. Using Houdini mountains for matte paintings. Yeah, you could do it. Hey, Paul. Thank you, man. So let's talk about VOPS. Because somebody was telling me in my previous tutorial, like, can you do that in box instead of Bex? And I was like, yeah, go ahead, you do it. That's your assignment. And he was like, I don't even know Bex. What helps render VFX? RAM, video card, or processor? Processors or render farm, basically. VFX are really heavy stuff. You need everything. At the video card, only if you're gonna render with Redshift or some other GPU renderer. But for rendering, basically it's processor and RAM. If you're using Redshift, then all three: RAM, video card, and processor. The fastest thing you can get, that's what you need to use. The render just takes everything. If you have it, he'll use it. All right. So let's talk about VOPS for a while. So VOPS, somebody was asking before if VOPS was related to VEX, and actually VOPS came before VEX, kinda. Because there was, let's see, is there still, oh, there's still the all VEX context here. I haven't used that in so long. So before, when you the VEX context, dude, haven't used that in like 10 years. Before, when you wanted to do operators in Houdini, you had to use the VEX context. So you had to use, let's say you wanted to do a shader, you created the shader here, then created a shader from that surface, and then you could assign it. It was crazy. So yeah, let's open this guy. What can we do here? So yeah, dude, the surface shop. The surface shop is how you used to do all those VOPs that you have in subs now. If you wanted to modify points like we do this before, you had to do it here, and then you created as operator in the other. Let's do something here. Let's see if turbulent noise add. You can see it's basically the same. The position. Let's add this noise. Let's put the position here as well, and put this into the, oh, there's only color here. This is a shader. Oh man, I create a shader. Let's create a surface. VEX surface shop type. Oh, there's no way to create a surface operator anymore. Subtype, here it is. It's a subtype. Let's do this again. Turbulent noise, add this guy here. Actually, put the position there. Well, add that to the position. And now this is how you did it before. So you can say, let's call this mix turbulentations, whatever. So then you had to go to object level, go here and say, okay, I'm gonna, this is the old way, old way. You should not be doing it like this now. And then it should show up here. You can see there it is. That's the one we just did. Mixed turbulentations. There it is. It's a VEX thing, and then it adds that noise there. Just doesn't look like it's adding anything. It is kind of adding there. It's weird. But you can actually go inside this thing and modify it. It's really weird. This is how we used to do it before. A lot of time, long ago in a galaxy far away. Let's see if we actually, yeah, we can kind of see that here. Purling noise. Maybe the frequency is pretty big. So yeah, now this is not working the same way. Oh, I connected the wrong thing there, duh. Wrong thing. Make this 3D. There we go. Now it's working. Frequency. There we go. Now it's working. So that's how you used to do this way long ago. So, but now you don't have to do this. You just do this directly in VOPS. So let's go back here, and you can just do the same thing here with a BOP. With an attribute BOP, you can see there's a few BOPs. BOP network, which will be exactly what we're just doing in the other context, which you shouldn't be using anymore. There's the attribute BOP, this is for height fields. The point, primitive, and vertex is basically this guy. It's the same. So just use this one. I always use that one because the other one is just basically the same, but just changing this attribute here. I don't want to complicate my life. I just use the attribute BOP because why not? So the attribute BOP, if you go inside, you have these nodes. And these nodes actually generate VEX code. Yes, they do. So let's do the same thing here. We have parameters here. These are the globals in Houdini, and these are parameters that Houdini knows about, or you can use parameters that are kind of global in Houdini. And then these are the outputs. So this is what you get in, and this is what you get out. So the P is the position. You can put your mouse there and say what they say. This is the P for position, velocity, force, color, and the normal. So between those two guys, you can do anything you want. Like I was doing there, I was just adding some turbulent noise and adding it to the position. If I pull this noise into the points, see that is not working because these things require a position, and the position can be this position we have here, so we can connect that, and now we have nothing. Basically this is what's happening. So it's just adding noise to each point in three positions at the same time, and just makes them all one kind of line, linear line. So but if instead of just putting that directly, let's say we put an add. Basically add is basically adding, like in math you're adding here, but we're adding nothing here because we have no connection in the second input. We can add anything here. Let's put a constant, which is just any number, and by right now it's 0. So if I connect that, I'm adding nothing to this, right? But if I start adding to this, you can see the sphere is moving because I'm adding to all the points, to all the point positions. I'm adding this amount here, so it's actually moving vertically because we are adding to X, Y, and Z at the same time. We can actually break it up a little bit. There is, you can see this is a vector. If you put your cursor there, it says it's a vector. So it's X, Y, and Z. We can break that vector to float, vector to float. I just love how Tab2 makes this so easy. Like I just type vector to float, VF, and ta-da! So now here this vector to float. Now here we have X, Y, and Z. So let's add this to the Y position only. But you can see we're setting all the attributes here. We're putting like X and Z are basically 0. So what I do here is I basically reconstruct this guy. So I basically just want to move the points up. So let's put another float to vector now. So basically we have the inputs to create a vector. And let's put this as the Y, this the original X, and the original Z position. So basically we're just modifying the Y position. And now if we add to the Y position, we are moving the sphere up. We're moving every point up by this amount, right? So that's what we're doing there. Of course, we could actually multiply. Let's multiply. We have something that creates noise here. Let's put the position there because the turbulent noise requires that. What if we multiply this number by this noise? Why is that thing disconnected? Now, look at that. This guy is not just moving the points up uniformly like we did before. Since it's multiplying, if we multiply by some noise, the noise is it's black and white, so those values, black and white, are gonna mean 0 and 1, and gray values are gonna be a value between. So now we're multiplying by those values and we're creating something like this. So now we have created like a deformer that just goes in one direction like this, and we can control the intensity of this deformer with this parameter right there. And we can control the noise with this guy. If we want to offset the noise, we can do some really funky stuff like that. We can add some music, some spheres, and we have some motion graphics there. So yeah, that's what's happening here. That is the basics, really basics of VOPS, and you can do whatever we want here. So you can see we have math operations. We're adding to the points. We're multiplying this value by the noise of this value, and then we're passing that just to the Y position, and then we are putting that into the position. We could also connect this to the color, and we're gonna have a color based on this noise as well. We can make this higher. You can see the noise is gonna change like that. We could fit the color, just the color, to make it more readable because it's getting like super dark values there. Maybe we don't want dark values. We can add some here, just grayish, and you can do that kind of like that. You used to do deformers like this a lot before. So this is what VOPS is doing. It's basically manipulating the parameters with math, with functions. There is this thing started with shaders and then move on to geometry. There's some patterns, like let's say burlap. I don't know what that looks like. I didn't even create that. Let's do the Voronoi noise. Let's multiply it by that instead of this guy. Let's see how that looks. Pretty cool. Let's put a grid here. Grid, and let's put a switch here. Switch to the grid. Add more relative 200. So now look at that. We have a grid with a Voronoi pattern there. You can see, if we see it from the top, like those Voronoi fractures that everybody do. Now we have it here as a deformer, and we can control the intensity with this guy. This is basically our intensity. That looks pretty good, cool. Let me connect this to the color so we can have like that. See, this is looking pretty cool. The Voronoi outputs a few things here. There's the other way around. Like, you can say this looks pretty nice. Let me put a no. Nah, just gonna disconnect this and pull out this guy there. There's another kind of output from the Voronoi. This looks pretty cool already. So yeah, you can do a lot of crazy stuff with VOPS. You can see that looks pretty damn cool. Nah, that doesn't look cool. Let's just plug the first one. There we go. So now you can see we did that just with a few nodes here. You can see the power of this. This is pretty freaking powerful stuff. And of course we just scratched like not even the tip of the iceberg here. But if you go inside here and you click any one of these nodes, you can see the Bex VOPS options, and you can see view Bex code. And if you do that, you can see this is actually generating Bex code. And after VOPS, this became like a thing that you can actually write Bex code later directly. So you can see this is the code that is generating all that. We could take the code and this code and just write it in a Bex wrangle, and it would work the same way. Same way. There are some functions that differ, but it will be basically the same. So I recommend, if you want to learn Bex, learn VOPS first, and it will be way simpler to transition to that. Maybe you can do something in VOPS and then see the code and try to translate this. And I do that a lot sometimes. And you would start learning Bex really quickly. Are there any questions? Because I've been rambling like crazy today. We've been talking for 1.5 hours. Man. Okay, so what's up, guys? Any questions? And we can do some funky stuff with this. Let's just promote this parameter and put time here, and now we can see some cool stuff. Look at that. That looks funky, right? Really damn cool, man. Looks cool. Let's do it in the X position. So yeah, you can see now that looks pretty funky. Look at that. I can already see this on Instagram. Instagrammable. Instagram me right now. Instagram me. And you can see this is pretty fast because Bex it's really fast. Let's put 400 points here. What did I do? Did I crash Houdini? I don't know. I did something. Alrighty, there it is. Oh, I put 4,000 points. I wanted 400 points. And there you go. It looks pretty fun to me. We can even smoother after the fact and see what happens. Look at that. Woo! Instagram it right now. Yeah, the smoothing just makes it a little bit slower. What about looping that? So yeah, I'm kidding about Instagram, Max? I'm kidding. But if you want to loop it, just use the make loop thing here from Game Dev Tools. Make loop, the lead channels. Let's make this 24 maybe. I don't know. So let me make this 24 frames. There's different ways to do a loop. I'm just using using the make loop tool that comes from the Game Dev Tools. That's a good first approach, I would think. And then after that, maybe use something else that you want to use if it doesn't do what you want. But yeah, that will make a loop. Look at that. It doesn't look great, but it's something. Let's see if it's just one frame repeating there. Yeah, it's not looping great, but it's a start. So there you go. Now you can Instagram it now. And I was kidding about that. Not making a joke, just kidding. Alright, so no questions. Alright guys, so I guess that's gonna be it for today then. I have to go and do more stuff. Maybe release tab 2 or something like that because switches between things. Cool. Alright, so hopefully we really retouched the surface of VOPS. So let's do more box next week. How about that? Let's do next week. We do more VOPS. We do the whole hour about VOPS, and I can prep some stuff we can do together here, and we can do it together. You can learn more VOPS, and that's it. That's it for today, because you guys are not asking any questions, so I'm just talking to myself basically. All right. Okay, so I'll see you guys next week then. Hope you guys enjoy this. If you just before we go, if you want to support us, please go buy our new training, Shading with Redshift. It's really cool. Also, you can go buy our tool, tab 2. If you want to learn Houdini faster, now you can get tab 2 and you're gonna know what the tools do. Let's see. I haven't tested here, so let's see here. Voronoi noise. Look at that. Help, 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 and more help. So if you want to learn this stuff, just go ahead and buy tab 2, and you're gonna have all this help really quickly. If you wonder what some noise do, you can see, all right, that's what it does, that's what it does, that's what it does. So all right, that is it for today. Thank you very much for being here. I'll see you guys next week, and keep learning. Let's keep learning together, guys. Cheers. Bye. See you later. Sayonara. I didn't mention the Discord thing, but whatever. Let's see. Where's my window? Alright guys, see you next week. Bye.